Okay, we'll give it another minute and then get started. Cool. Let's get going. We'll let people trickle in, and then as people join, maybe if they get blocked, somebody in the call from our side can get them through the room. Cool. So as always, broken into a few sections. We'll go through the sections, pause for questions, and we'll also have time for questions in the end. Feel free to raise your hand at any time. If I miss any questions in the chat, feel free to point me to it or just unmute and ask. And we'll get started. So starting with the Farcaster client, we launched a few feed-centric improvements. So translations are live on web and mobile. And you should be able to see casts from other languages, both on channel feeds and home feed. They should be automatically translated without you needing to do anything, detects your own language automatically as well. And it should be working. So if you have any issues there, send us feedback. We also expired the Merkle spam label system for home feed algos, so it doesn't include the spam label anymore. Includes our own scoring mechanism. Nanar scores are public. You can check them on explorer.nanar, or there's a couple of mini apps that do that. We haven't made the change in the client yet to show the score in the about section, but somewhere in the future we'll get to that. Just haven't gotten to that yet. As a result of this, two different things. One, engagement and author diversity we saw are up. The Merkle algo was resulting in at least some dampening of authors who were good authors. And so they are now getting more distribution on the client, which is good. There is also some infrequent spam flares that we have heard from a few users, and we are looking at that, and some improvements should be going out this week. Just a result of changing one spam algo for another, where previously mislabeled spam accounts are getting better, but there's some mislabeling on our side as well. And so should get sorted out over the next couple of weeks. But if you see something like that, please send feedback, and this is why it's happening. Spaces fully rolled out. We also rolled out spam protection in audio rooms, where there were a bunch of spam accounts showing up as listeners. That shouldn't be happening anymore. And also a bunch of reliability fixes. So if you are still seeing any of those issues, feel free to reach out and we'll take a look. On snaps, these are the interactive casts where you can tap like frames, but slightly more. We added smart contract transaction support, so you can now create transactions behind a snap action and pop open the Farcaster wallet to go act on that transaction. The docs should be up on the Snap Docs page, and if you have questions or feedback on that, also good to reach out. And finally, we improved some user experience around storage, where previously users would be surprised when their older casts got deleted because they didn't know what storage was. So now we have in-app notification when you're about to run out of storage that clearly tells you that, hey, your older casts are going to be replaced by newer casts. If you tap on it, you can go and buy more storage units. And of course, you can choose to not do that and just have your casts overwrite the previous ones. But there's hopefully is more information for people to know what's happening and less surprise. Any questions on any of that? Cool. Moving to the developer section, pretty small today. The main thing here, the Nanar starter and growth tiers are now included in the free tier. So if you go to the Nanar webpage, you can sign up for free. And the only time you need to upgrade is if you are a pretty heavy user, and we expect not to be able to subsidize your server costs, at which point you can upgrade to scale or reach out to us to upgrade to enterprise. If you are an existing user, you can downgrade to free at any time. We haven't chosen to disrupt existing users yet, because that needs additional work to like downgrade them without disrupting their current API requests. So that should happen over the next month or so. But for any new users today, you don't have to go through the starter and free tiers. Any questions on that?
Yeah. Hey, Rush, it's Adrian.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I forget which tier it was on, but there was like a limit to like 5 apps you could add. There was like 5 different apps, and even if you weren't reach all your usage, you couldn't add a 6th. Do you know if that's been limited, like lifted?
Manan, do you know off the top of your head?
No.
Oh, we'll have to get back to you, Adrian. Good question.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll find that out. Okay. Moving on to Clinker. So Clinker, couple of different work streams going on here. So Base is launching its own token type called B20. We are going to be supporting that. It's out on Base Sepolia already, and we are working through some audit firms to get our contracts audited before it can be supported on mainnet. Same for V5. We are adding some new features to Clinker. Smart contract generally, where token launches can be more customizable, and you can add a variety of different things on top of a standard launch. So it'll move from V4 to V5. Also working on audit and release for that. Both of these are slightly, obviously, slowed down due to the audit process. So TBD whether they are out by the next dev call, but hopefully. So working on that now. And then outside of that, there's some like website user interface improvements that we are working on where it had kind of gotten out of date and information was hard to find. We are also rolling out some new agent-centric features on Clinker specifically. These should be out hopefully by the end of this week, and if not this week, then next week. I know some people are beta testing that already, and so if you're one of them or if you want to become one of the beta testers, reach out, and we'd like to get feedback on that. Outside of that, Ecosystem Fund and the Creator Sprint, both run by GM Farcaster, thanks Nanish, Prof, and Adrian. There was a set of awards handed out last month across a variety of projects, grants, individual creators, and across a variety of categories. There seems to have been some good impact, at least across some of the categories. So we are going to run the experiment again this coming month, where I know GM Farcaster team is prepping who they are looking for the award recipients to be. So that should be happening closer to end of month. That, I think, is everything about Clinker. Any questions on that?
Yeah, hey, I'm curious about Clinker V5. What's new in V5?
Manan, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So firstly, on base internet, we're moving to
I think you have a different mic on. Can't really hear. Like your voice is weird.
Wait a second. How about now? Is this better?
Yeah, it might be better now. Try again.
Okay. Yeah. So firstly, on base mainnet, we're moving over to B20, which is base mainnet. Base is like attempt at a native ERC20 format. Apart from that, modularizing it so that the same set of contracts can be deployed across not just like base and B20, but also across other chains. There's quite a few other modules that we're putting together. Can't fully talk about them right now, given that we might have to address some of them based on what ends up coming as part of like the audit and release. But yeah, we will be sharing more about this in the upcoming weeks.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thanks.
Cool. Any other Clinker questions? Okay. Protocol. So we have cross-continent consensus working. I think Kevin made a cast about this earlier today, where we have one of our validators migrated to Ireland, and network health is stable. We have 2 validators PR out to add a geographically diverse network operator, which we had brought up in last month's call, and DGen had reached out saying they want to run a validator. So that should be going out as a new validator operator with the next release, and will be announced sometime in this week. I imagine the release will go out over the next few days or next week. And then there's a few other release-related updates. Maybe Kevin, you want to talk about them?
Yeah, the DGen validator cutover release is out now. Okay. So that's occurring next Thursday. Yeah, so we're working on basically just making, we're doing a lot of decentralization work right now on both like what exists at the protocol level and what exists at like the infrastructure level. Part of this is making the mesh more visible and observable for people. So it's still like very much in progress, but I'm building like a visibility tool that observes and crawls the network. Right now, it can only like crawl from one validator to another, and because we kind of by default have like a hub and spoke model with read nodes, it just minimizes the complexity and the impact until we understand how much impact it could have. And so like the intention is that each node can have show like a graph if you want to browse it, and of like all the other nodes it's connected to and how much traffic is going between nodes. And then we're also working on making the standard for the Farcaster protocol exist outside of the living code base of Snapchain and become something like it exists in the protocol repo, but we are making it much more possible for another implementation to be written from scratch, and standardizing what conformance looks like. So I'm writing some like tests for that, and some artifact, and I've already committed some artifacts to help with that work. So that's a work in progress. I've also created an FC CLI tool that is useful for submitting messages of a variety of types to the network, mostly on testnet for like testing various new message types. It ships with the Farcaster, with the Snapchain Docker image, if that's something you want to play with. If there's demand to release it as a separate thing, we could do that, but I'm not going to worry about that unless people really want me to. So yeah, that's an update from us.
Cool. Thanks, Kevin. And yeah, we also put out an FIP for onboarding non-Snapchain validators, which I know there has been some discussion on the comments already. We will look to finalize it over the next few days or weeks, after which we'll be able to onboard non-Snapchain validators. Any questions on any of this?
Yeah, just a small one. I was curious, did DGen run a testnet validator?
Manan, Kevin?
No, they're running Snapchain. So we've been running a Snapchain network ourselves on testnet, and we rely on that to kind of meet the requirements of the need.
Got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Cool. Then I think we can end early today. Thanks everybody for joining. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us async, and we'll see you on Farcaster. Bye.
Oh, I didn't get to ask why his microphone sounded like shit.